grand existence, cosmopolitans, citizens of the universe. There's something urgent we need to talk about today. Maybe it was actually yesterday that we needed to talk about it. But if you've been paying attention, the mainstream media narrative has been really shoving down our throats lately water health. I think today it's something different, religious hate maybe, but yesterday it was definitely water health. Mr. Biden was up there speaking about all of the Clean Water Act that the other one revoked and reinstituting it back into our world, into our country and states. And Biden was also speaking about water health in California, Oregon, North Carolina. They're finding crazy amounts of lead, and they're saying that the fires are contributing to the water health, the water availability, the water distribution, the water network. And what's really happening here is that our free market is being manipulated, okay? Water affects the distribution, the availability, the chemical composition, and the cleanliness, the health of the water affects the value of the dollar. It affects the rate of inflation, okay? It affects, well, if you understand it, our culture doesn't really run on money, it runs on life and energy. And if you notice about something about our culture and our money and the energy we put into it, is that most of the money is used for environmentally destructive, culturally destructive purposes. Over 50% of our money is used on a military defense budget. So that should say a lot about the nature of the authoritative structure of what is using the money and the energy to direct it in creative or not so creative ways, destructive ways. One of these ways they're using the energy is in the water, okay? Now they're all talking about the water. There's something in the water, right? There's something in it. So what is it? Now really water is sort of like a limpid consciousness. A better way to understand it would be the actual and true visual source of life. Now people are always talking about the source and tapping into the source, but what they overlook really is, well, perhaps they don't overlook them, but we have been beguiled by these psychological operations which occur from the main sources of information in our world, okay? One thing you have to remember is that we are in an information war. All that really means is that there is truth out there and there is lies out there. And again, look at where all the money is going. You can see that we're most likely governed by lies. And one of the lies that we have been told is about water, and it's about health, and it's about the true depth of the human experience. Now, we are getting our water and our food in our homes, in our workplaces, and our culture is really mechanizing the human existence so that automation and integration of systems is allowed to unfold in a way that is conducive to the existing power structure. Now, one of these, I call it innovation, the Clean Water Act, right? Well, what's really happening, these psychological operations, is presenting the world as one way when in fact it is a completely different type of way. Okay, and one of these facets of manipulation, of divide and conquer, is in the water, okay? Now, they're basically taking one thing, the water, which is not fantastic, and saying it is this half, this part of it. They're saying this one thing is two things, and then saying this part is horrible, and so because that part is horrible, right, the droughts, the lead, the impurities that lots of these states are trying to have to deal with. Biden was speaking down on the other day. These impurities that exist in the water, it's much worse than they're portraying it to be, okay? They want you to say, okay, we know that that water over there is bad. Okay, so that means this water that we have must be good. So one thing that you need to understand when you're living in this world is that if something is free, or if it is standardized, or if it is the generic version, right? Tap water. If it is the regulated version of something, if it is the, I have another word written down. If it is the, basically, if something is free in this world, it's not the product. You are the product. You are what is being controlled. You are what is being manipulated. You are what is being changed. Okay, you are the data and the information that is seeking to be changed, controlled, manipulated. The mainstream narrative wants you to believe in a certain history, right? And a particular narrative of history that they claim is responsible for where everybody is where everybody is in the world, right? Americans, at least. So like they're trying to tell us that our water that we get out of the sinks and we get out of the taps, when it's properly taken care of by these water companies who charge you exorbitant rates to drink something that is like needed for your existence, okay? It's not something, like, let's backtrack a little bit. Water is not something to be frugal on, okay? It's one thing to be frugal on, like, airline tickets or internet service providers. You don't need the fastest internet. You don't need first class airline seatings, okay? You can cut your losses there. But with water, your fundamental dignity of life, something that you're taking in every single day of your life, that you literally need it to live, that's not something you skip corners on. That's not something that you are frugal on. That's something that you get the highest quality. You provide it for yourself. You don't let anybody hold your water source for you. Why would somebody else hold your water source for you when you need it to live? That means they own you. You don't have any power if you can't make food, if you can't make water, if you can't provide a home for yourself. You will die in this world, especially nowadays that the nanny state has convinced so much of the population to become completely dependent upon it for their survival. Okay, of course, I'm talking about the coronavirus rituals that went down the past 2 years, which have been showing us that individuals are not capable of making health conscious choices for themselves. In fact, nobody really knows what the F is going on. But really what happened is that it was an information battle to get you to basically separate yourself further from the source and the truth of life. And now they're coming down our throats with water. And they're telling you that the water that's coming out of your tap is fine, that that's the best water, and that everybody should get that water, and that the water in North Carolina, the water in Oregon, the water in California, all of these lead-based water delivery systems all across the country, they're going to get changed out, and then the filtration system and the recycling system is going to get better. Okay? This is all bullshit. It's a scam, it's a sham, it's a lie. You do not listen to these people. Again, if it's free, if it's standardized, and it is not ideal, that means you are getting a sub-quality product. And if it's something that governs the entire foundation of your life, at least 70% of it, 80% if you're in the head, then you're going to know that you're going to be living a sub-premium life, a sub-quality life, a sub-existence. You're living in a sub-reality because water, which retains memory, which is programmable, okay, you understand, it can hold energy. It's not being curated, it's not being potentiated, it's not being programmed in the right type of way so that you are able to connect in with yourself in the most full and complete manner, okay? Human beings have special, unique qualities, capacities, talents, and endowments that when we are fully aware of we are completely hydrated and aware of the true physical source and the foundation of human consciousness development, then we will be able to unfold and evolve with these higher mental faculties that are a part of our uniqueness, that define what it truly means to be human, the ability to create and innovate, right? The ability to express yourself infinitely into cognate in higher dimensional realms, okay? So human beings have this capacity to be innately hypersentient. We have this capacity to be innately an interdimensional, interplanetary species because functionally the nature of consciousness is omnipresent. It's a force. It's a vital force that is ambient in the entire universe, that is distinctly separate from physical, chemical, particle interaction. It is an immaterial force, okay? And so water, which is our connection to this immaterial force, or like I said, limpid programmable consciousness, of which you're 80%, if you're drinking and you're connected into that source, which is filled with fluoride, filled with barbiturates, recycled through these systems that basically pull the life force out of water, okay? The human body is a battery. Just like you put water in the battery cells, they're charged up, okay? You're a battery. Water is the fuel for the battery, okay? You think you're hungry, you're not, you're thirsty, right? Water is the main source of fuel, next to oxygen, of course. So if you're connected with this filthy water, with this fluoride and these barbiturates and this fecal matter, and you think, oh, it's 14 parts per billion, and the state says it's 15 parts per billion, so it's okay, I'm going to be fine. No, nobody in this world hold a very small handful, maybe 2 handfuls, we can count them on both hands, have been able to tap into the completeness of the human psyche, right? To rise the soul from its lower nature into its higher nature, which is, again, conscious and aware of the true nature of reality, which as a non-physical being, you and me, we are spirits that have bodies. We are consciousnesses that have bodies, and as the active principle of consciousness, you can move between bodies, you can move between worlds, okay? So these higher mental faculties are completely stunted by the continual degradation of the fuel that is coming into the human body, first and foremost, through the water. Secondly, yes, the air is not pure either. You live in a city and you think you can unlock these mansions, these abilities within yourself, excuse me. You think you can unlock these abilities within yourself while still being contaminated by these inorganic particles, then you're wrong, okay? You're right. The truth of the matter is that if you want to make truly energetically potentiated water and you want to experience the benefits of truly clean water, of truly bioavailable water, which means water that carries life force, water that provides energy to your battery, to your body, so that you can truly connect in with yourself and you can experience the full domain of self, which is limitless, then the first thing you got to do is adjust the intake, okay? The fuel source is your number one go-to. So you don't want to be frugal on your fuel. If you go over to my website and you go scroll down, you'll see the mindfulness and the novelty plant medicine. Here is our water, health, and hydration page. And what you'll find is that I have 2 products listed here. Both are water devices, ionization devices, which contribute an electrical... Well, first of all, I'm going to talk a lot more about this later this July in a 2-part series where I discuss how to make living water, how to make healthy water, alive water, energetically potentiated. There's not a true moniker for this, so we're making all this stuff up, making all these names up as we go. So you have to understand, life water is something that charges you up, that provides you with energy instead of taking it away. And most of the water that we get out of our tap takes energy away. And we wonder why there's an energy crisis. This is why. Okay, so I've got two ionizers available. The Hydrolux ionizer, which is portable, and the Kangen, which is permanent. The Hydrolux is made by a institution, a company, our partners, known as Secret Energy, a sister foundation. They created probably one of the greatest hydrogen generators on the market. It doesn't require any filter changes or cleanings or anything like that. It's portable. You plug it in, the membrane releases hydrogen gas, and you have some of the highest part per billion hydrogen generator on the market. Okay, the highest I think I've seen is about 700, and this Hydrolux goes up to 1200 parts per billion, which, if you understand how important hydrogen is, you know that this is basically a therapeutic, and this is a therapy, okay? Hydrogen gas, inhaling hydrogen gas and drinking hydrogen gas has been studied in the United States since 2007, and other places for far longer. Okay, so we've got our hydrogen generator, which is portable, and it's about $350, okay? That's expensive, but like I said, you don't want to be frugal, and in the long term, it's not as expensive as the Kangen machine. The Kangen machine is a permanent countertop ionizing medical grade water purifier. Okay, so it uses metal plates to electrolyze water and produce the hydrogen and oxygen gas at very, very high rates. I'm not sure exactly on the parts per billion, but the oxidation reduction potential in these devices is off the chart. It's basically between the Hydrolux, the Kangen, and what I will teach later this July. It's essentially taking something. If we can put a number on it, we will. Let's say tap water is about a 25, okay, and let's call green tea about a negative 45, and the more negative the better. Our Kangen and our Hydrolux ionizers produce water at about between a negative 400 to a negative 800. So and this is like an oxidation reduction potential. It's a chemistry qualitative term to discuss the energetic availability or the electric availability. And if you understand what you are, you're an electric being. So the electric availability of the water in a millivolt form. Okay, so there is about 25 millivolts in your tap water, and your ionized devices, be it Kangen or Hydrolux, will produce anywhere from negative 400 to negative 800 millivolts, which is absolutely incredible, because what I will tell you later in this July series is basically how to understand the totality of the universe and energy through chemical means, so that you can have the wherewithal to understand how the human body works, because it's simple, really. They want to confuse you with all of these fields, but it's positive, negative, and neutral. And like I said, you are a battery, and you need to charge your battery so that you don't oxidize, so that you don't decay, so that your cells don't die, so that you are able to continue your evolution of consciousness and move towards a greater state of who and what you truly are. So by all means, just do not listen to the TV. When they tell you that the water's bad, what they're talking about is the water that they feed the cows and the sheep and the slaves, okay? It's just enough to get them fat and juicy right up until it's time to slaughter them, okay? So we as human beings, citizens of this country, that's something lesser than what we truly are. This is why I speak to the cosmopolitans, because this is a universal citizenship, and this truly is a human family, and anybody that tries to tell you otherwise is trying to is denying themselves and yourselves, but they're not trying to. They are denying you yourself, because you are everything, and everything is everything. Okay, so for the love of God, man, clean water. Don't listen to Joe Biden. Don't listen to the TV. Anybody offering you free standardized crap, especially the nanny state, is trying to poison you. They're trying to kill you. They're trying to take your energy, your money, and you don't give it to them, okay? You don't become susceptible to a third-party artificial institution who wants to govern the basic fundamental dignities of your life. That is a fundamentally illegitimate and anti-human act, okay? So the purpose of all this is to take control of your own life, take control of what you need, like take control of your body, take control of yourself, okay? Because that's the only way we're going to change this world. That's the only way we're going to stop, change the tides of the information war, and we can live in reality more in alignment with the truth, is when we live in the alignment of the truth of who we are, okay? So God bless your minds, heart, and souls. Connect to the source of life through truly pure living water. Do not fall for the divide and conquer tactics, okay? Do not fall for the water, okay? There's something in the water. They're not going to tell you what it is. They're going to make you think it's okay. It's not okay, all right? So, see me much later this month, and I will teach you how to make your own living water for less than $50, okay? And it is absolutely necessary to a highly functioning, evolving spiritual life. And that's just my perspective on this whole thing. I hope that didn't disturb you, and maybe you're able to take something from it. And if you can't, well, then just leave the rest, and love be with you. Enjoy your existence. Have a beautiful present. All the wonderful stuff. Again, I don't know how to end this stuff. Be grand, okay?